This is Turd Flinging Monkey for TFM News, reading another article from Shedding of the Ego, link in the description. There are a few certainties in life, but they include death, taxes, and that men will be blamed for the behavior of women. The latest example of this appeared in the CNET article regarding a BBC interview with a psychologist concerned that men are choosing video games and porn over relationships with women. This isn't exactly breaking news, especially to MGTOW. However, rather than blame women for being so toxic that they have driven men away, the psychologist blames men for being addicted and calls it a masculinity crisis. Let's back up a bit and examine the issue along with the cognitive dissonance and gynocentrism at work. The psychologist in question is named Philip Zimbardo of Stanford. It's worth noting that psychology is now a female-dominated industry. All the better to manipulate you with, my dear. I'll give Philip the benefit of the doubt and assume that his manginery is simply the result of knowing which side his bread is buttered on, and that if he wants to keep his job in a female-dominated industry, being a white knight mangina is simply par for the course. Zimbardo states that he believes that young boys' brains are being digitally rewired by online games and porn. The evidence he leads with is a quote from an unnamed boy that says, "When I'm in class, I wish I was playing World of Warcraft. When I'm with a girl, I'll wish I was watching pornography because I'll never get rejected." Let's break this quote down into smaller bits and examine them. When I'm in class, I'll wish I was playing World of Warcraft. You mean school is boring? No way, I had no idea. You mean children would rather do something fun than sit in class? What black magic has bedeviled our innocent children? Seriously though, this has nothing to do with sexuality. Ask a 5-year-old attending preschool compete with naps and cookies, whether they'd rather go to school or stay home and play video games, or watch TV, play with their toys or whatever, and see what they say. You'll only be shocked by the answer if you're a moron or a mangina psychologist from Stanford. This also isn't exclusively a male problem. Young women probably would rather be on social media or socializing with their friends than attending class. Does this mean girls' brains are being digitally rewired by social media and that they're experiencing a crisis of femininity? When I'm with a girl, I'll wish I was watching pornography because I'll never get rejected. Now this is admittedly more of a male problem than a female one because all the pressure is on the man to approach the woman. Women never have to worry about being rejected to their face, because their worst case scenario is that nobody returns their smiles, talks to them, or approaches them. While a man's worst case scenario is that he takes the risk of approaching a woman and she rejects him while probably also throwing in a moderate amount of shame and mockery towards him as he walks away. This is not an issue that came about because of porn. It's an issue that's been around for centuries, and as women have become more narcissistic and entitled, it's simply gotten worse. Women are progressively becoming less attractive and more entitled, while porn is becoming more realistic and accessible. It's not hard to see why porn would be preferred, but of course the psychologist puts no responsibility on women for their role in men rejecting them. Zimbardo continues by discussing a brand new disorder for men later on in the article. It's called PIED, or porn-induced erectile dysfunction. It is apparently this phenomena wherein modern women with their roles of fat, narcissistic attitudes, and massive entitlement have caused men to no longer be attracted to them. Women have become so toxic that men can't even maintain an erection while staring into their cellulite and feeling how loose their vaginas are due to the miles of cock that have been run through them. I know you're shocked, but it's a serious problem. If men aren't slaves to their dicks and willing to bow down and worship the holy vagina, whatever will become of society? Luckily, Mr. Zimbardo has a solution, but you'll have to buy his book, Man Disconnected: How Technology Has Sabotaged What It Means to Be Male, to learn what it is. I will not be buying this mangina's book, but I already know what his solutions are because I've heard them multiple times. That men need to man up, stop being so selfish, and sacrifice themselves for the happiness of women, because if they don't, what about the children? This is yet another attempt to repackage traditionalism. Whereas Ruch's neo-masculinity attempts to rebrand traditionalism as somehow beneficial to men, Zimbardo's argument doesn't even attempt to be pro-man, but it takes the standard feminist route of shaming and blaming men while taking all the responsibility off of women for their actions and behaviors. Allow me to explain the underlying issue using the example of the video game Roller Coaster Tycoon. I would rather go to an actual theme park than play Roller Coaster Tycoon on my computer. But if the park is too far, too expensive, the lines are too long, the rides are dangerous, and the employees all have bad attitudes every time I go, I'll gladly stay home and get my roller coaster fixed from my computer. The article closes by asking the question of whether these developments are sabotage or progress. I would argue that this is progress. Men have been slaves to their dicks for too long, and it has allowed women to walk over men and destroy the societies that we've built. Men have competed for women since the dawn of time, and now that, for the first time, women are facing a little competition themselves, they are losing their minds. Has anyone thought that if men prefer porn to women, maybe the problem isn't porn? This is Turd Flinging Monkey signing off.